What's up, guys? Boogie back again. So, guys, women are out here looking for sugar daddies, looking for only rich men. So, the average guys, man, it's tough out here. So, let's see what she says.
Up tonight.
Yes, I wanted some dating advice. So I'm
Okay.
not looking for like a serious relationship right now. I'm 26. I was engaged before, um,
Hmm.
and I've been single for 2 years. And I've been dating. My last relationship, he was a provider. He was in tech, so he made off very well. He took
Oh.
care of me. That was like my best friend. He was very loving. We had great memories together. We accomplished a lot together.
Hmm.
And what ended it was I needed to focus on my business. He wanted more time for him, like, well, us together, but I needed more time for me to focus on my business.
Wait, so you ended the relationship just to focus on your business? I don't know.
I didn't end it because of that,
Hmm.
but he was requiring more time from me and it was causing a strain in our relationship. There were arguments that were caused because he wanted more time and I love that he took care of me, he provided for me because I want that in a relationship. But at the end of the day, I got to take care of myself. I got to make sure I have money set aside and make sure I'm good and I have my own passions that I want to pursue.
But what did you expect? I mean, he's a sugar daddy. So, I'm predicting, he was spending money on her and he wanted to see her more often to get back something in return. Because let's be honest, sugar daddies don't spend money on these women just for the sake of it. But I guess she wasn't giving him enough play, enough cookies, if you know what I mean, on the regular. Because they would rather the man sends them money, cash up, through the phone, rather than meet the guy. Because they know if they're gonna spend time with a guy, he's gonna want to clap them cheeks. So eventually, the sugar daddies are not dumb. They may have money and they may spend all the money they want, but they're not dumb. At some point, they're going to choose women who are willing to give them something in return.
But was he planning to marry you? Was it leading to that? No.
It was, but I also realized in that I love to cook and clean and do all of that, the homemaking, I love it. It's just that running a business and being in a relationship, it takes a lot of energy out of me.
Mm.
And I want to be able to establish myself more. And within these past 2 years, it's been great. I've gotten to learn myself, love myself 1,000 times over. The only thing is with dating, I've been attracting very affluent men. It's just that they don't mentally stimulate me. And it's either that or I'm not attracted to them physically. So it's been like a bump in the road because I do want companionship. So I'm open to dating.
What does that mean? How can you? So you want men to spend money on you, but you don't want to do anything for them, and then you want them to worship the ground you walk on, but then you don't want them to ask you of any like. And this is why men are walking away from relationships because it's like they're looking at the investment and like they're looking at it from a business perspective and they're saying, so you want me to text you, you want me to plan dates, take you on expensive dates, buy you gifts, do all these things, worship the ground you walk on. What do I get in return? Nothing. Like, no, it's not a good deal. So clearly she's a good looking woman, so I wouldn't be surprised if, because she claimed rich men want her, so I wouldn't be surprised that, she has plenty of rich men who want her or who actually approach her, but she can't keep one because I think her energy is off, or she offers nothing in return. Maybe she doesn't even cook for them, she just expects them to buy food from DoorDash.
I'm
Okay.
just not looking for anything serious.
Wait, you're open to dating, but you're not looking for anything serious.
Yes. Like if it leads to that, like if we build a great foundation with each other and that
Mhm.
companionship goes on for a couple years, then I'm perfectly fine with that. But, right now in this space, I don't want a serious relationship, but I do want that companionship.
Okay, so it sounds like
She wants a sugar daddy, but she wants a sugar daddy who doesn't want some of her sugar often. So she wants a sugar daddy who's just going to be sending her money and she can give him a little bit of sugar every now and then, maybe once a month, even if he's paying her rent and sending her, money to shop, but she wants to give him sugar once a month. Or even maybe she wants a sugar daddy who doesn't want any sugar.
like you want a guy It low key, new. I'm not gonna lie. It sounds like a sugar daddy. That's what that sounds like. A companionship.
When I say companionship, I'm not saying intimately.
That's what
I'm
I
not
said.
saying intimately because I feel like I want to reserve that for myself, you know. But I
Okay.
See?
do know that men will approach, men will
Okay.
come around. It's just that I have requirements, you know, that they're providers, and the men that have came into my life, they're absolutely providers, and they invest in me. It's just that, you know, I'm not in a space to give myself.
So the guys.
That's stupid. I don't know any man who's going to sign up for that. She may have to get a man who's either 85, 95, whose junk down there can't work anymore. And, because some of those older guys who are, they don't mind spending the money. They just want a beautiful girl around them. But then now she's saying some of those guys she wasn't attracted to, because much of how these girls want these older men to spend money on them, they don't want to be seen out with these same older men. But then on the flip side, the older men actually want to be seen out with young beautiful girls. So she wants a man maybe in China who just sends her money and she has nothing, she doesn't have to do anything for the money. But it's like free money doesn't come like that. So unless she's gonna be okay with walking out with a 95-year-old man who is rich, is just gonna spend money on her just for the sake of it, because some guys do it online. They send money to OnlyFans girls who do have nothing to do, but it's like she doesn't want to give them any cookies. She doesn't want to be seen with them. I don't know. I don't know what land she's living in, but I think it's because she looks good that she thinks that's how life works.
Who are providing for you now that you have come across, and you're saying you don't want to give yourself. You didn't give yourself when they were providing for you. That wasn't a requirement for them.
Say that again.
So the guys that you, yeah, the guys that you were with in the past, like just recently, right? Because you're saying you're attracting affluent men, but one, they're not mentally stimulating you, or two, they're not attractive, but they're willing to provide for you, right?
Yeah.
So they're not requiring anything physical, because you're saying you don't want to do that. They're not requiring those things, although they're
No.
giving things to you.
No.
She's lying. She's lying. Very few men out of the 10 rich guys she meets, she may be lucky to meet only one who doesn't want to clap cheeks. She may be being lucky to meet only one who doesn't want to get some sugar back. And if she met that guy, why doesn't she have one right now? That's because she's lying. If anybody can tell me that this woman has had sugar daddies and they didn't want nothing in return, I got a bridge to sell you. I'm gonna be honest. She's lying.
That's hard to believe. They don't want anything, nothing.
I mean, like they insinuate it, but I always retract from it. Like I'm like,
Okay.
oh, okay, well, you know, I'm not ready for that. Maybe down the line, and then I
And
go with it.
and that's why you don't have any of them right now. Because they're gonna give you money once, two times, three times. After that, if you don't give them any sugar, they're gonna leave. They're not dumb.
Okay. Okay. So if providing is number one for you, which it sounds like, why not date the guys who are just not that attractive? I think,
Mm-hmm.
why not date that guy? I know he's not the
Because it's
super
like,
eye candy, but if he's groomed, he smells good, he has a haircut, he has
yeah,
money. You know what I mean? Like, okay,
yeah.
he may not be a looker, he may be a four in the face. I don't know. Why not
Mhm.
date that guy?
I mean, it's not. I've considered it. It's just like I really want to enjoy that experience of having someone there, and I want that physical attraction there because if it leads into something, then I want to be able to look at my person and say, okay, you know, that attraction is there.
So she wants a younger guy who's rich, who's gonna be able to give her money for a couple months or even years until she decides that, you know what, now I'm attracted to you, we can sleep together. Like, which man is gonna do that? I don't. This is a new thing. You guys, I've made some of these videos before, and you guys were thinking I was lying. No, these days some of these women want a man who's gonna pay bills, but no sex, like no intimacy, like just pay my bills just because. Just look at me, appreciate my beauty, and pay my bills. But how many men are going to do that? Because she doesn't want older men she's not attracted to. So she wants a younger guy she's attracted to with high testosterone, but she expects him to just look at her and pay her bills. Like, which man is gonna do that?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I always think the rule, and I think this rule is as old as time, you want to be the good looking one in the relationship, So I think that's to your advantage. I'm not saying guys who aren't that good looking, who have money, don't cheat, don't do this, don't do that. But I think you would have the advantage because you look like the trophy. You look like the pretty one on his arm.
Yeah.
Versus being with a guy who has a six pack, who has the money.
I have noticed the difference in the treatment between the two. Like the ones that know they're attracted, they're more arrogant. They're a lot more arrogant. So I get that. I do.
Yeah, I'm assuming, and if they have money too, oh honey, listen, they yeah. So I don't know. It sounds like you just want an attractive guy with money. You don't want a relationship, but if it potentially turns into something, we'll see. But if you're already attracting affluent men, what about the other guy? You're just saying he's not mentally stimulating you. So that means he is attractive, he has money, he just doesn't mentally stimulate you. What about him?
Yeah, like the conversations need to be there, we have to be able to discuss, things beyond, okay, just how was your day? I like intellectual conversations.
So he's gotta pay your bills and then give you good conversation. Like, that's one of it. So his job is to give you conversation, pay all your bills, no intimacy, give you compliments, call you, take you out, buy you gifts, and then what does he get in return? Just look at you, and that's it. Oh my god.
Okay.
He's crazy.
So yeah. I notice it's always either one or the other, and it's like,
Yeah, I'm like, it sounds like you really about your bag. That's what it's given. Like
I am.
Okay, so then if it's the money, I think those other things shouldn't matter because it sounds like money is a
Exactly.
priority.
It's like she's not sure if she wants to be a sugar baby, or she wants to be a sex worker, or she wants to be passenger princess, or she wants to be in a relationship, or it's like she knows money is the first priority she has, but when she looks at what she has to do to get them free money, because it's really free money, she's looking for free money. She's like, okay, why do I have to do all these things? Why do I have to do something in return for a man who's going to pay all my bills? She doesn't want that. And it's like, I don't know where you're going to get free money. You're not going to get free money just like that. It's going to come with some consequences.
That's one on the list.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I'm asking. I'm not assuming.
It is. I mean, it's not, when I look at, qualifications in a person, like I have a child. So, of course,
She's a single
that
mom.
man has to have leadership qualities about him. There's certain things that's on the checklist that have to check off besides money. So I'm looking beyond that. And I think that's why, because I want to surround myself with quality people, not just my friends, but who I decide to date. So it's like, and I get a lot that I'm too picky, my standards are too high. I don't believe in knocking my standards down for anyone. So
Okay. That's
If you believe in not knocking down your standards for anyone, just be okay being single. Because guess what? Those rich men that you want to pay your bills have standards too. They expect something in return. That's why it's called a relationship. If it's one sided and one person is getting everything from the other person, that's slavery. That's being used. But if you want a relationship, he's paying your bills, he's going to want something back. I don't care what it is. But looks like the rich men that you have met have not been able to get anything from you. That's why you have not been able to keep anything. And now on top of that, you have a kid. So you want a man to be a stepfather, to pay all your bills, give you good conversation, and get nothing in return? Oh my gosh, she's the Lulu.
fair. That's fair.
yeah.
I mean, I say, keep putting yourself out there. That's it. Keep putting yourself out there. That would be my advice to you. But I think someone who's really affluent or like he's wealthy, they're not going to be able to give you all their time because that's how they made it up the ladder that far, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So they're not
So
going to
it,
be able
and
to
that's why it
continue.
kind of works out sometimes because I like to focus on myself and my business, so they're able to focus on themselves, and there's that happy medium there. So yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Well,
All
thank
right.
you. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
She's delusional, and the issue is this older woman is not really giving her the game. She should have been honest and say, hey, listen, if you want a rich man, he's gonna expect something back in return. And usually it's to clap cheeks. Usually it's the cookies, you know? And if you want a guy who's not gonna expect anything in return, you're gonna have to look for an older man who's about to die but has money and just wants a pretty girl around him. But she also doesn't want those men because she wants to be attracted to the guy who gives her free money. See, so for me, these older women are not giving younger women like her good advice, and they're messing them up because I can guarantee you, if there's a 50-year-old man who's rich, who's a billionaire, this woman is competing for him, and this younger woman is competing for him as well. So guess what? I see why an older woman would never give a younger woman good advice, because they're competing for the same kind of man. You guys get that? But anyway, shout out to Ashley. Link down below to our channel. All right, next we have this TikTok of this woman who's saying she would never deal she would never deal with a man who doesn't pay her bills, or who doesn't make more money than her. So it's all about the money out here. Let's go.
I know I'm gonna make some people mad about it, but I feel like it needs to be said. I see all these videos on here about provider man, provider man. Oh, why would we want to pay for you guys and blah 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 blah, and you guys are liabilities and this, that, and the third. Let me tell you something. This is coming from somebody who watched my dad give everything to somebody, and she pretty much took him for everything, right? And so it created this wound in me where when I started to date, I would accept men that made less than me, thinking that, like, oh, okay, it's cool. We can build together. Better jobs can come as long as he's a nice person. Broke men are mean. Okay. They're mean as fuck. And when you make more than them, they'll try to humble you. Okay. I was with a man that literally just watched me do everything. There is no true 50-50. There's no such thing. Because even when y'all come bring y'all check and y'all bring y'all 50% in, y'all don't even understand. Half the time, y'all are only providing the 50% financially. Y'all are not providing 50% of the household. So we're still raising the kids. We're still setting the doctor's appointments. We're still doing all of the housework. We're still cooking dinner. We're still doing all of the things and putting our 50% in. And on top of that, most of the time, I can only speak for myself, most of the time, we're still providing more than 50% of the income because y'all will be the same ones to come and tell us, oh, I need this and I need that, and the kids need this and the kids need that.
Maybe pick better. Maybe choose a better man. Because the issue is first of all, there's not plenty of rich men. So if rich men are not coming your way, look in the mirror and ask yourself, how come I'm not attracting rich men? That's the first thing I think everyone should do. Just like men, like if I'm approaching women like Beyonce, maybe Kelly Rowland, who are some good looking women, maybe Rihanna's of this world. Let's say I'm approaching all the IG models, the IG bodies that you guys see on IG, on Instagram, right? And they're all rejecting me. I'm gonna have to look in the mirror and ask myself, okay, Boogie, you are approaching all these women, but they're rejecting you. I have to look in the mirror and ask myself why. Maybe I'm not 6 feet tall. Maybe I didn't pull up in a Maserati. Maybe I wasn't willing to spend some money. There are reasons why they would be rejecting me. So you as well, mama, before you complain about the broke guys you are, dating, because these women claim any man who's not willing to spend money on them or who's not willing to be taken advantage of is broke. So before you trash those broke guys who give you a chance, ask yourself, how come the rich guys that I feel I deserve, because they all feel they deserve a rich man, how come they're not approaching me? Ask yourself that question.
Instead of going to do it yourself. From today forward, not even today, child, I already told myself, I can't be with somebody that makes less than me. I've tried it. And every single one of them were mean. Every single one of them were abusive. And every single one of them tried to humble me. You know why? Because they didn't like themselves.
That's the first thing they always say. They say he was mean, he was abusive. They throw the abusive thing anytime after in the end of a relationship. And you guys have you ever noticed men never make TikToks to talk about their exes? Men never tell us their side of the story. So she's gonna say how bad the ex-boyfriend was, but it's like we need to hear his side of the story to tell us exactly how many times you called him names, how many times you abused him as well, how many times you didn't listen, how many times you said he's dusty because he wasn't planning to buy you any flowers and things like that. He needs to tell us his side of the story, but they are quick to get their phone, record, and tell us how bad the ex-boyfriend was, how abusive and how controlling he was, and how toxic. They always use those same words. We have had those words before, but it's like sometimes they even call their ex-boyfriends gay. But it's like, why were you with him if you thought he was gay? Like in the beginning, you wanted him so much. Now he's gay. Now his dick was too small. We need to hear the man's side of the story before we believe you, mama. So at the end of the day, sure, you claim you don't want to date broke guys again or men who don't have money. But until the rich men are literally trying to break down your door and on the floor begging to date you, until then, I mean, it doesn't matter whether you think you deserve a rich man, but the rich man actually has to approach you.
I wasn't flaunting my money. I was just doing whatever the fuck I needed to do. Shit got to get paid regardless. I don't think that a lot of men really truly understand or have grasped the concept that it's not even about your money, it's about who you are as a person. A lot of us women have felt like we had no choice but to date down financially, and you guys couldn't even be good people.
It's not a choice. It's because the men you claim you deserve, the rich guys, are not approaching you. I don't care how much I think I deserve Beyonce. If Beyonce rejects me, if Beyonce doesn't look at me, if Beyonce doesn't give me a chance, I could scream to the mountaintop that I deserve a body, an IG model. If they're not giving me a chance, it doesn't matter. That's why I said, look in the mirror. Why are the so rich guys who are willing to pay your bills are not coming after you? Ask yourself, maybe it's your attitude. Maybe it's the fact that you have a kid. Maybe it's your energy. Maybe it's the way you dress. Maybe it's the way you talk. Maybe it's the way you disrespect them. Something about you is not attracting the so-called rich guys that you think you deserve. Because all of them, for some reason, believe they deserve a millionaire. And we know what the numbers are in terms of available millionaires, but they all believe they deserve one.
You guys don't even try to be good people. It's not even about your money. I know generous men that probably don't make the 6 figures or whatever. I live in California. It's high as giraffe's pussy out here. But it's free to be kind. Some of y'all are just not nice. Some of y'all are fucking evil. Some of y'all are abusive. Some of y'all need to go see the fucking lady.
I told you guys, to them, a broke man is one who's not willing to spend money on them. Let's say if I had $10 million and a woman approaches me because she wants a generous man, they use that word generous, to make men pay for their stuff. But if I refused, even if she sees that I got $10 million, she's going to call me broke. Only because I refuse to pay for her kids. Only because I refuse to buy a bag. Only because I refuse to take her to a $500 dinner date. So it's not that every time they call men broke, it's because those guys actually don't have money. No, it's because those guys are not willing to spend it on them. They call them mean, not nice, controlling, abusive. They call it financial abuse if a man refuses to spend money on them. It's crazy out here. But like I said, until the rich guys are approaching them, the ones who are actually willing to spend the money, because like I said, it's one thing to have the money, it's another to actually be willing to spend it on them. And until they look in the mirror and figure out, is my attitude attracting the so-called provider man? Until then, it's going to be the same complaining. But what do you guys think about that? All right, next we have just partly things. So let's get into it.
Maintain your discipline.
But then women aren't leaving because of sex, leaving because of financial reasons that we said. So it's not about. I think sex is insignificant.
Okay. Did you know one of the number one indicators of divorce is the woman out earning the man?
I can see that. Yeah.
But it goes back to because the woman, one of
maintain your discipline.
But then women not leaving because of sex, leaving because of financial reasons that we said. So it's not about. I think sex is insignificant.
Okay. Did you know one of the number one indicators of divorce is the woman out earning the man?
I can see that, yeah.
But it goes back to because the woman. One of the reasons is because the woman is around all these men that she wants.
But then if we're talking about is it sex or is it money? Because if she's leaving because he's not earning enough, that's different than this.
No, that's
sex.
selfish. But it's about being a selfish woman. That is selfish. If you're leaving and breaking up a home because he's not earning enough money, that's selfish.
And that's
It's okay to want that, but if you sign the papers, if you got married to him, and now you think you're above him because you make more.
I remember we're talking about characteristics here. So
yeah,
with the characteristics of a woman that wants to free up for everybody, when she is around men that she wants, she's going to act on those feelings. Whereas a woman who's more disciplined is able to say no to things because she's had less. She's more likely to be a sexual relationship.
And they say that 20% of men are raising a kid that's not theirs. That's why they don't want a promiscuous woman. They're afraid they're going to pass their resources onto the wrong, onto a kid that's not theirs.
Well, unknowing.
And that's very, very scary for most men. In fact, most men are even scared of asking for a DNA from their baby mamas, from their wives, because they know the woman is going to go crazy. Oh, you think I'm cheating on you? How dare you ask me to take a DNA test? You think these are not your kids? Even when the guy can clearly see the kid looks like Boogie and doesn't look like him, he's going to be afraid of asking for a DNA. But some of you guys are raising kids that don't belong to you. And some of you guys, your fathers are not your real fathers, but you don't want to have that conversation.
Or knowing.
Or not knowing.
So how do they get the statistic? I don't know. It's
DNA tests.
So when they come to find out.
When they find out, I just want to know how that was possible.
We literally spoke to a lady yesterday that said that the kid was 11 years old before he found out. The woman just came clean because her conscience couldn't take it no more.
Mad. 11 years.
This is what men have to go through.
Do you think they?
Wild.
Do you think the women stay or do you think they settle? Because it's like, if they've been exposed to A, B, and C men, one toxic, one really nice, they know how then to spot a really nice guy and a toxic one. Whereas like if they've had maybe one boyfriend and that's the only toxic one they've had, that's the only familiarity they've had with a partner. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes having, say, a promiscuous girl, they have that knowledge now.
You see what it is?
To go ahead, like men do, because you're saying how men can spread their seed, so they know what they want.
Logically, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But then we have the data to prove that that doesn't work. So what you're saying would make sense in an ideal world, but ideally that doesn't actually happen.
I mean, why do you think fathers were so involved in the vetting process for women? We don't make good decisions in men on our own.
Oh, I don't
Facts. But now it's like probably out of 10 kids, 7 of them are going to grow in a house without a father. So how are men going to be raised to be good fathers, good husbands, and how are daughters going to be raised to be good wives? Because they say the woman's first love is the father. But if the father is not in the house, how are they ever going to respect men? And this is why we see so much misandrist and hateful men, and and this is why the single mother rate is actually getting worse. Because guess what? Kids who come from single mother households, there's a chance they're gonna replicate that, which we call generation curses. Because they didn't know what a two-parent household looks like. So guess what? When they become adults as well, they're going to continue that same behavior. The daughter will have maybe kids with different men, break up with different men, maybe divorce different men. The son will have kids with different women as well, because I didn't see my father staying with my mom and having just us in a house. He was having different kids with different women. So both the daughter and the son are going to do exactly what the mom and the dad were doing.
Like that's why half of women over 30 are single and childless, because the average age of first marriage is 27 to 28 in the US, and in the UK it's 31. So clearly, how involved is your dad going to be in the vetting process for a husband if you're 31?
Saying that as well, look at the idea that when people say, "Oh, she has daddy issues," because without a masculine presence to guide you, you're bound to make bad mistakes.
A father presence, masculine. Not all fathers are masculine.
Yeah, for a masculine father, a masculine presence that is able to tell right from wrong when it comes to men.
What about a beta father?
Beta?
I'm just saying, because not all men are alpha. Not all men are alpha. So I think having
More
a father.
men were alpha back then.
I think having a father figure. For example, my godfather that brought me up, he wasn't what macho man. he provided.
Masculine doesn't mean macho man though.
I know, but we said earlier that's what
It said
people go
leadership,
to.
dependable. It didn't say macho.
Okay, masculine. So masculine for me is a macho. I don't see it as leadership because
That's not
leadership is
masculine,
that
might be a characteristic.
my mistake.
Let me tell you what I think of when I think of masculine, just from like a woman's point of view. It's a guy that doesn't put up with women's shit. So when I think of a beta guy, I think of a guy that just bends over and does whatever the girl wants, and he's just will do anything to make her happy, but not in a good way. Like he's a kiss ass. And when I think of a masculine man, I think of a guy that is not afraid to say no and put his foot down, and he enjoys being the leader in a relationship.
Yeah, but the issue is the guys who don't put up with their BS, they call those guys controlling. They call them abusive. They call them toxic. They call them, you hate women. So men are saying, so you want me to be a leader, but then you're going to call me controlling and abusive. So men are doing the math and they're like, you know what? Rather than getting a false allegation against me and ruin my life, I'm not dealing with this. So men are like either getting on the plane, going to Brazil, Colombia, wherever they go, or men are just checking out from the relationships.
Because we don't like men that we can walk all over.
Correct. True.
Yeah. Like the nice guys, they're not actually nice. They're just trying to buy your attention with things instead of just being a masculine man.
Yeah, I don't know, because like my godfather, for example, he would lead, but my godmother would choose what he's gonna wear when they go out. Some men, that's like, no, what are you doing? But he's like, whatever.
It's different dynamics.
He doesn't take anything from me to put on the clothes she chose out for me in the wardrobe. But I realized that now that might seem as though he's a beta man or he's not a masculine man, but he definitely ran the household. But so did she. So maybe I've seen different dynamics happening.
Well, men and women have different roles in households. I mean,
100%.
I mean, some masculine men, they're not afraid to dish out responsibilities to women that they're good at. Like my parents ran a business together and my mom is very organized. My dad isn't. She did a lot of the organization type stuff, right? And like the finances. But at the end of the day, he's dishing out the responsibilities. She's not.
Yeah, but the issue is these days women look at that as slavery. You know, like women look at a man who tells her something to do. For example, in her case, she's saying the mom was better at organizing. So if the dad was like, hey, you know what, I really struggle with organizing, do you mind helping me organize with this ABCD? Some women would look at that as controlling and slavery. How dare you tell me what to do? But when it comes to paying the bills, she wants him to pay the bills. Because trust me, when women say they want to go 50-50 in a relationship, they're not talking about bills. No, they're talking about, I'm going to cook on Monday, my husband should cook on Tuesday. I'm going to take care of the kids on Wednesday, my husband should take care of the kids on Thursday. But when it comes to paying the bills, now you better be a man. Now you better be a leader. Now you're the man. You're a real man, pays all the bills. Now I don't want to go 50-50. Now how dare you let a woman pay bills? You feel me? So they pick and choose when they want a man to be a leader. They pick and choose when they want a man to be controlling. So when it comes to paying bills, they want a man who's controlling, who's toxic. I want you to be toxic masculine and pay all the bills. You know, I want you to tell me what to do by telling me not to pay bills. Then they can listen to a man.
He's the one saying what's happening. If there's a big move, he's the one making the decision. She's not. And that's part of, we talk about submission at times.
Did he ask for her opinion in making those decisions before making the...
Oh yeah. I mean, of course he's gonna, but she had to earn that. He didn't just off the bat ask for her opinion all the time.
How did she earn it?
How did she earn it? Loyalty and showing that she's competent.
And giving him peace, I imagine, as well.
Yeah. I mean, because my mom and dad went to different colleges, and basically my dad told my mom, you can either move to me or find a different boyfriend. And she moved to him, quit, and then she ended up getting a teaching degree. She quit her teaching job to work for my dad and helped him build a multi-million-dollar business. They had 10 kids.
That's
but
very rare
in
to
modern day,
find.
they would say, don't take that risk for a man. It's only going to end up, don't quit your job for a man. It's only going to end poorly.
And it's funny, my dad would say a similar thing. My dad would say to my mum, or he said and tell us, is that I would see the bigger picture while she sees all the finer details. So everybody has their role to play within the system.
It's the cultures as well behind it. Like there's a lot of, I was with like a lot of Filipino people from like the older generation, and in their like culture, at least back in their day, was for the women as well, get an education first. If you was to get married before an education, the family would disown you because it's like one snap of a divorce and you've got nothing, and
In
you've
the-
left us with
in the
nothing.
Filipino culture.
Mhm.
Really, that's interesting.
It was,
I don't know much about it.
I don't know about like all around that continent of Asia, but at least there they said to me, education always comes first, and then when you have that education backed up, then you would go pursue maybe a relationship or whatever. Because if you left, especially with a woman, changing your last name, there's nothing there holding you as much towards them. So it really does depend on the culture with the presence with people. I don't know if you want to get a statistic, but
no,
like, yeah.
no. What I was looking
really-
up is when I want to see how westernized a country is,
Yeah.
I look at the average age of first marriage in a country. So one country I didn't realize was so westernized is Ireland. The average age of first marriage there is like 34 and 35. Because the more traditional it is, they get married younger typically is what I've seen. This is just anecdotal, but in the Philippines it's 27 and 29. So I guess they're westernized too.
Are they now?
Yeah.
Well, at least the people I speak were much older. So I don't know if it was just because older
Okay.
times, like you said, your parents would have said something different because maybe in their times it was different. But I know now it's probably more.
Yeah, but the issue is, there is nothing wrong with people focusing on their careers and choosing that. Hey, listen, don't get married first. Just focus on your degrees and stuff like that. But the issue is, every time you focus on something, there's something else that gives. So if we focus, and especially for the ladies, because remember, when ladies focus on their careers and money, that's good, but it's good for them. Like, because you know how men say, I'm going to make this money, find me a nice girl, start a family, provide for my kids and stuff like that. Women usually, when they focus on the money and degrees, they are like, I'm independent. Independent of who? Of men. So it's not like they're making money to provide for, to find a husband and have kids and provide for the family. No, they're looking for money to be independent of men. So at the end of the day, obviously that is going to lead to, less marriages because they're focusing more on their careers. Because remember, relationships are a skill. So if the skill you have is becoming a lawyer, but you haven't developed, or you are not taught the skills of a relationship with a man and woman and marriage and what it takes to hold up a marriage and the importance of marriage and the importance of staying together with a man or with a woman, guess what? The marriage rate is going to go lower. And guess what? The divorces are going to be higher because people can't communicate with each other. They can't tolerate each other because they were not taught the skill of relationships and being married to each other. Because we didn't make it a priority. We made education a priority. So the family is going to suffer. Like I said, if you focus more on one thing, something else is going to take a hit. So in the day we live in right now, in this day and age, relationships and marriages and family structures are taking a hit from chasing all the money and the independence that we want. But anyway, just shout out to Just Probably Things. Link down below to the channel.